Welcome to Front and Center Ice, presented by Run Pure Sports. I'm your host, JC Zargo, joined as always by MATTY.
What's going on, man? How we doing?
And Tanner Smith.
How's it going?
All right. Happy to be on the main channel. For those of you that have been following us for a few weeks over on the bet side, appreciate you coming over. And those first-timers, welcome. On the show, we just go over the entire NHL slate, break things down from both a betting side and a DFS side, and give you all some winners. So, Tanner, man, how was your weekend?
Not too bad. I watched the Steelers at least get another year of a winning record, whether or not they made the playoffs or not. So that was fun. Penguins finally got rid of their losing skid as well. So, can't really complain over here.
For sure. MATTY, how about you, man?
Yeah, no, it was good. Definitely quite the national championship game we had last night. I know we did the watch party. I hopped on stream there a little bit, and that was pretty big slap in the face there for the committee there. But can't take anything away from TCU, right? They earned it. They beat Michigan, but overall pretty boring game. But good for Georgia back to back. That's always nice to see. But looking forward to jumping into the NHL slate here and picking some winners for the people.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I jumped in. I thought 13.5 was just far too many points, and boy, was I wrong. But luckily, Georgia alone cashed that over for us. But yeah, we're here to talk hockey. Anything? Were you locked in on football over the weekend, or you got any hockey takes that you want to give out before we start rolling from what you saw?
Yeah. So NFL had a good Sunday. Was about 15 points out of first in the big $100 single entry. So that was pretty hurtful. Had Najee on there, had Kenneth Walker, K9 on there. Obviously, Kenneth couldn't bang it in on a couple of tries there at the goal line, which was hurtful. And then obviously them not challenging the Najee touchdown was pretty hurtful too. But nonetheless, profitable Sunday. And NHL slate was good. NHL slate last night was pretty solid. I faded the Buffalo chalk, which obviously we'll get into here. Buffalo's on the slate again. Mega chalk last night in a can't miss quote unquote spot, right? And they laid an egg against Philly. So be interesting to see what they do here on this slate. But overall, it was good and looks like a good slate tonight.
Love it. Yeah, completely agree. So with that being said, we'll just jump right into it. Starting off, we'll open with the biggest dog of the day. The Columbus Blue Jackets visit the Tampa Bay Lightning as a plus 350 dogs. Man, if things weren't bad enough for Columbus this season, they just keep getting hit with injury after injury. This is just going to be a blowout of a game. The puck line's at 2.5. Tanner Smith, man, is there any bet to even consider in this game, or just given the odds, it's just a complete stay away?
I haven't found anything I even remotely like on this one. I mean, it's just such a lopsided game. Even the goal scorer props you're barely getting even money for Stamkos point or Kucherov to score. Like there's not a lot here. I'm definitely going to be keeping my slips away from this one. So yeah, this is just way too lopsided. Tampa's been on an absolute tear lately, and we know Columbus stinks. Like you said, they just can't get away from the injury bug. So yeah, there was nothing about this game I liked.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because the over-under sitting at 6.5, and Columbus very well could get shut out, so you don't really want to touch that. And then even the Lightning's team totals 4.5. It's like, yeah, they're going to run over them, but I mean, to bet on 5 goals, that's just not something I really want to do.
Near 5. 3.5 is probably the highest I ever go for, unless it's a one-off. I made the mistake of taking the goat heads last night for the 5.5 just because, but I sprinkled a little bit there. But yeah, 4.5 is just much too high, even with a game like this.
For sure. And to add insult to injury, Vasilevsky's in net. So they couldn't even take it easy. They want full force. They want a statement win here. I don't know why, but that seems like what they're going for. MATTY, man, you got anything for the people in this game?
Yeah, so this is probably going to be one of the chalkiest, if not the chalkiest spots on the slate for the DFS side of things here. Anytime you got over a 400-point fave, it definitely bodes well. And my matchup sheet that I put out for the people onto the Run Pure Sports website, I think has been a good addition this year. And obviously me coming on board, bringing that over, I've always used it. So hopefully the people are getting some use out of that. But if I look at it, bright green matchup here for Tampa, which obviously implies the massive line, right? They're at home. Columbus is a dumpster fire. Vaz is in that, which he's been better. Tampa's playing better. But I mean, it's really interesting to me. So Tampa's coming off 2 losses, right? 2 back-to-back losses, now at home against Columbus here. Should have Elvis in net for Columbus, which he hasn't been great. So overall, I do like this Lightning team. And what's crazy is their top line is very affordable here, which is probably going to increase their ownership even more. I mean, you got Hagel here. Let me pull up these prices quick. Yeah, so Kucherov, 8.4K. I mean, you got Tage Thompson and McKinnon and them up over 9K. So I mean, you get a kind of a 1B stud, right? In an absolute great matchup at under 9K. I mean, you can always play him. Braden Point's been great all year long. He's 7.1K, so very affordable there. Brandon Hagel, 6.2K, very affordable. And then Victor Hedman does look like he is coming back. He was out last game against Winnipeg. Prior to that, had a 21-20 and a 13 point game. DK points, obviously, very aligned, very correlates perfectly with that top line, right? Skates with them 5 for 5 on full strength, as well as the power play. So overall, one of the greatest stacks of the night. I'm not sure if I'm going to get there just based on ownership, but obviously, I mean, you can't ignore them in this spot. I mean, Columbus has been kind of a DFS target all year long. So that's where I'm at on this game. Tampa, great plays. On the Columbus side, not really on anything. Their price tags are up, and I just don't want to pick on Tampa here after back-to-back losses, heading back home. I just think they kind of stick it to them pretty good here.
Now, you said you might not get there, and that was something I was curious about. Can you afford not to play the Lightning in this slate? Like Tanner and I said, we don't really want to play the over or the Lightning -2.5, but in all honesty, it's probably going to hit. Like, this should be a complete clobbering of Columbus. And so your Lightning players are going to rack up goals. They're going to rack up DFS points. If you got that train of thought, can you afford not to play them? Like, do you need to get some Tampa guys in your lineup? Do you even stand a chance of winning anything tonight without some Lightning?
Yeah, I mean, so that always goes, right? You can always fade whoever you want on any slate, right? And anyone's fadeable at a given ownership, right? And in this spot, so if I look back at the past matchups here, last game they played Columbus, it was a 4-1 win. So if it is a 5-goal total game again here, which would obviously bode to the under, I mean, does all 4 of those goals come from the same line is what you have to ask yourself, which is very hard to tell, right? So are they fadeable? Absolutely. The only issue is there's not a ton of other great spots, right, on this slate. Obviously, we're going to talk about Buffalo here. But overall, I mean, this is the best matchup on my sheet on the slate. So it might be hard to fade these guys. And that's where you kind of look and just kind of push your chips in possibly spot here. But overall, interesting and certainly can be fadeable just like anyone else, right? On any slate. No one's a must play. Hockey's a high variance sport for everyone new tuning in here. Much like MLB, right? You have your best stacks typically, but that doesn't always mean that they're going to come through, right? Hockey's the same kind of thing.
Fair enough. Campbell in the chat with the question. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but what demon would you target if you're going to grab Lightning stack?
Yeah, so I like Victor Hedman. He's talking about Bovequist here from I believe from Columbus here.
Yeah. So that's my apologies.
Yeah, so he sat out the last 2 games in Carolina and Washington. My issue with him is for a D-man, he only sees about 17 minutes a game, which is pretty low for a D-man. Obviously, there's typically only 3 shifts of D guys. And you see a lot of those guys playing 23 to 25 minutes, right? Thing about him is he doesn't block a ton of shots. So at the 2,700 price tag on DraftKings there, I think you can do better. And now if he was like a big shot blocker, I could see it, right? Because he can get there on shot block upside with the scoring the way DK works. So I'm probably not going to chase that. Again, he's on the third line. Sees under 18, under 20 minutes a game. So I think he can do better there, but certainly good question.
And for your knowledge, 85-man, Hedman is out with personal issues today, so don't put him in your lineup.
Is he out? Okay.
Yeah.
I saw he might have a chance to come back. So either way, just like that top line overall.
Fair enough. Tanner, man, anything you want to tack on in this game before we move along?
No, it should just be an absolute shit kicking.
Yeah, for sure. All right, a little more evenly matched game. Wild taking on the Rangers. Rangers, they gave Minnesota work early in the season. But both these teams look a little bit different these days. You know, they've kind of come a long way, especially the Rangers this season as Igor's kind of come along. It's looking like we will have Fleury versus Sturkin in net. Nadesify, man, where do you target this game? You know, knowing that Igor's playing a lot better, Fleury's inconsistent, but the line suggests it's going to be a tight game.
Yeah, I mean, so one thing, I see this playing more in a defensive game here. It does look like Igor in that, right, for New York. Yeah, I see Igor projected in that here for New York.
Yeah.
And then it is math going for, yeah. So Fleury's projected to be in that here for New York or Minnesota. So this game's going to go one of two ways. It's going to play defensive like a hockey game or like a playoff hockey game, or it's going to shoot kind of like we saw last game, right, where it popped for 10 goals, 7-3. Obviously, the Rangers kind of beat down the Wild here. Overall, both teams are kind of coming in on losing streaks here. Rangers dropped their last game. Wild have dropped the last two. So that's where I tend to look. Dino's going to try and match up Eck, the Eck Greenway line, the kind of one of the best defensive hockey lines in the entire league. It might be a little bit harder for him that he's not at home. He can't really dictate those matchups. So it's going to come down to if New York can kind of get Mika and their top scorers off of that Eck line. They should, if I was them, right, I'm not going to deploy Mika and Kreider and those guys out against Eck just because of I want to score, right? Tough game to get a read on overall, though. I know Matty kind of covered this one on the DFS side here in the playbook, which is live on the website, and he kind of said the same thing. He sides more with the goalies here just because he thinks it plays a little bit slower here, and I tend to agree. But overall, I mean, we saw this same matchup last game pop for 10 goals. So could it pop? Absolutely. There's a ton of star power on both sides with Kirill Kaprizov, Mika, Chris Kreider, Bredman, and Panarin there. Zuccarello does seem to be back. He was a full skate this morning in their morning skate, which is big for the Wild team because he sat out the last two games. So if he's back, that obviously bodes well for the Wild and their offense on that top line there. So certainly can play DFS wise, but overall, I think it plays a little bit slower. New York on home ice has been pretty suffocating in terms of allowing shots. So they're sitting 29th in the league, averaging under 25 shots allowed per game. So you're really just hoping that you pick the right goal, right? The one or two goals, and at their price tags, I don't know if they get there on a 10-game slate.
For sure. Now, with seeing as what you said about goalies here, and knowing what these guys are capable of, over/under sitting at 6. Before I tossed it to Tanner, Nadesify, which way did you go on that?
Man, it's hard to say. So, like their last two matchups, one was 5 goals, the other was 10. So it's really, I don't feel comfortable betting it. I know we've kind of, obviously this is the first show on the main channel here, but the followers that we've had on the bet side, we weren't great at picking these totals, right? So I typically try and stay away from them and kind of just more look towards the props and some of these other. I know Tanner will probably get into it a little bit here on some of the thing that I've been tracking, right, with teams on back-to-backs and first periods. So I'll let him speak on that a little bit, but I'd stay away from the total just because I can't get a good read on this, and both goalies have the capability to stand on their head and kind of shut the other team out.
Yeah. Tanner, man, take it over.
Yeah, I mean, first things first, Ryan Reeves' revenge game plus 500 is a goal score. Will I take it? Absolutely not. But if you're into that sort of thing, go for it. But yeah, I tend to agree. I think this is going to be a slower pace, grind style game. The Rangers are, like you said, suffocating on home ice. They just don't allow teams to shoot. Igor's turning back into the, maybe not quite the Igor we saw last year, but he's, getting back into that flow of being a Vezina winning goalie. But yeah, and like you said, I think it's a slower game. Like you said, if the goalies just start slipping, it could bust wide open. Like you said, last game was 10 goals total. So over under, I just can't make up my mind on that. It's sitting at 6. You're getting a decent payout either way. I think edgewise, you got to give it to the Rangers here just because they get that important second line change, and they can avoid using that to avoid the Ek line. But like, I don't know, the thing I do like with the Rangers, and it's kind of what's killed me with trying to play Seattle DFS wise, is it seems like they can get scoring from just about any other line. So I think that's what makes them a little more dangerous on home ice. And just that's kind of where I give them the edge here. Not the most exciting game for me, betting wise. I could see it going either way. Like I said, blowing up for hitting the over or just being a complete dud, 2-1, 3-1 grind game, or either team could win. I really can't get a great read on it, but if I had to pick, I'd just give the edge to the Rangers there. They're minus 140 money line, but beyond that, nothing too crazy here. It should be a good game, from a spectator standpoint, though.
Fair enough. Can't argue with that. Before we move along, just a reminder, hit that like button. Like I said, we're presented by Run Pure Sports. For those of you that are new, we do everything from DFS and bets. If you check on over to our site, we are a subscription-based service. However, we have a lot of free content such as this. Most days, Tanner's dropping an NHL Best Bets article. Those are completely free. And then on the fantasy side, we got Nadesify and Matty Ice dropping cores every day. So it's a great reason to jump on board. If you like our content, there's a whole lot more. And those of you that have been with the Run Pure for a while, just kind of jumping into the hockey streets, any questions you got, man, drop them in the comments, drop them on the Discord. The guys, we're always happy to talk hockey. Now a game might be a little more action, a little more exciting. New Jersey Devils heading to Carolina to take on the Hurricanes. Hurricanes struggled early in this season, but they're kind of starting to find their footing in the year. They're once again dominating at home like they did last year. Tanner, man, any hope for New Jersey in this one?
I mean, I think so. I mean, we've seen, obviously, shot volume doesn't get you the win there. Saros standing on his head the other day. And I mean, I always make jokes about the Hurricanes just love to shoot at the goalies. But this should be a great matchup. I mean, you get two teams that are just completely suffocating all the way around. They just don't allow a lot of shots. They take a ton of shots. Carolina's averaging, 41 shots over their last 5 games, which is just absurd. And I think they've lost 2 or 3 of those games. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's the goaltending slipping or what it is, but I mean, just the way these teams play, the under definitely intrigues me. It's sitting right at 6 on DraftKings, getting minus 105 on that one. I don't mind that whatsoever. The line's not out yet for whoever's in that. I think Vanacek for the Devils. I'd be curious to see what projected. Is he? Yeah, so they don't have the lines up yet, but I'd be curious to see what his save prop is, just because, I mean, the Hurricanes have just been peppering goalies constantly. It doesn't really seem to matter who they play against. I mean, did it against Columbus and Nashville aren't exactly the greatest examples, but I mean, they played New Jersey in New Jersey a few weeks ago. Let me pull up how many shots they had there. I mean, yeah, they put up 47 shots on the Devils in New Jersey. So I think the under here and whatever Vanacek save prop is, if you can get that around like 29.5-ish, maybe even 30.5, I'd definitely be interested in that there. But it should be a pretty grinding game. But I see this one being like a 3-1, 3-2 type game.
Now, knowing the Carolinas took in the last 5 against the Devils, do you take that puck line? You'd like Jersey at the plus money line. Any take on that?
I think minus 140 for the Hurricanes. I think you definitely take them. Anytime they're on home ice, it's just so hard to fade them. They smother every team, and they're the regular season freight train. They just dominate everyone. They don't let anyone do anything. So I don't think I've taken New Jersey to win here. Can they? Obviously. I mean, Nashville did it the other day. Mm-hmm. Like I said, when they just got absolutely outplayed beyond all belief. But Yeah, I mean, minus 145. Maybe you can go regulation, but like I said, this game could be a grinder. And with one goal separating them, we've seen the Hurricanes let up 3 goals on 15 shots. So maybe not the regulation win. Minus 145 money line. I think that's where I'd be going there.
Sure, fantastic. Nate's fine, man. Now, knowing that the Hurricanes can put 40 shots on goal and they might score 3 or 4, any love for VV between the pipes?
Yeah, so I got to call out Mike here in chat. He knows. So Carolina was literally a walking flamethrower for the last month. They went on, a 12-game winning streak, right?
Yeah.
Dropped the last 3 in a row. And now face the Devils, which I think are a cup contender at home. But the thing about the Hurricanes is they did get Patches back, Pacioretty, which is a huge addition to that top line, skating with Aho and Jarvis. I mean, it's tough because Jersey does play good defense, right? They're a very good defensive hockey team as well, much like Carolina. So while the total's sitting at 6, I mean, we could see a 3-1 type game here. But interesting to note that you did say that, right? Carolina's won the last 5 against Jersey here. 5-4 last game, 4-1 the game before that. The 4-1 game was at home as well. So I like the Canes to bounce back here. The only issue I have is Jack Hughes is just a man on a mission right now. I mean, the dude has just been incredible. He's averaging 30 DK points per game in his last 5. And it's going to be interesting to see how Carolina tries to slow him down, because he's had a goal in both. So he was in the game they lost 4-1. He was their lone goal scorer for Jersey. So what's his prop at, Tanner? Do you have his prop?
154 plus 154.
Yeah, so that's pretty good value. 1.5, almost 2-1 there on Jack Hughes. I mean, he's on an absolute heater. He's averaging almost 8 shots per game last 5, which is obviously bodes to why he's averaging nearly 30 DK points a game. And he's got a goal in both of his last 2 against Carolina. So wouldn't hate that at plus money. That's very interesting there. But that just shows you, right, how good Carolina's defense has been this season, right? I mean, Jack Hughes is coming off, 2 goals, a goal, 2 and 2. So he's got at least a goal in his last 5 and 3 games with 2 goals in that last 5.
So his shot prop's in at even money too for 4.5 shots, which is, I'd say, a lot against the Carolina team, but I mean, he's obviously been doing it.
Yeah, so I'd rather take the plus money with his goal scorer, anytime goal scorer there for Jack Hughes. Overall, I think Carolina wins this game. From a DFS perspective, I also lean Carolina here. Seth Jarvis is 3.8K on that top line, skating with Patches and Aho. That's a good price point. Does get power play run as well. Has okay history against Jersey, but Patches, Max Pacioretty here at 6.5K. He's got good history. Has had 2 good. I mean, since returning, he had 6 shots on goal and 2 shots on goal. But last game against Columbus, he had 2 goals. So he's obviously feeling good coming back. Like him a lot, or a decent amount, I should say. He's 6.5K, pretty reasonable price tag there for his talent and upside. Overall, lean Carolina on the DFS side. Don't love the stacks here, but there's definitely pieces that you can play.
Cool. Quick player fade here. Max Pacioretty plus 156 anytime goal scorer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that at all. He had 2 goals last game against Columbus. Last game against Jersey, he had 8 shots on net, no goals, with a point. So that could turn around and find the back of the net. I mean, he's shooting 4 times per game on average. So don't hate that plus money, but I think I lean Jack Hughes better at similar odds there.
Tanner, you like Pacioretty or Hughes to score?
I think I got to go with Pacioretty on this. Just the way I see the way the Hurricanes have just been dominating shot volume and stuff lately. It's just hard to fade that one. If you're giving me equal money on that, I think I got to take Patches.
I agree. Cool. Tanner, anything else before we move along?
No, it should be a good game.
I completely agree. Next on the slate, could be the highest scoring game on the slate. Kraken visit the Sabres. Kraken are on a 5-game winning streak. They are blowing teams up, outscoring them 26-8. And surprisingly, Ottawa is responsible for half of those goals. So knowing Kraken are red hot, who are you targeting in this matchup, Nathan?
Yeah, I mean, so this is a battle of two teams that are both on back-to-backs here. Buffalo was absolutely embarrassed last night. I faded them. I wrote up Philly 2 in the playbook. Unfortunately, it was hurtful. I didn't listen to my own advice, but obviously some of the members did follow it and played Philly 2. They had 3 goals combined between that second line. Obviously shut out Buffalo in Buffalo. So one thing I always like on NHL DFS is playing teams after coming off an embarrassing loss, right? There's no way they shouldn't have lost to this even though I think this Kraken squad overall is a better hockey team than the Sabres. Obviously, the Sabres have more firepower, right? More star talent. They just score, but they play no defense, right? They're winning games 6-5, losing games. I mean, you shouldn't be losing hockey games when you're scoring 5 goals, right? Like that's kind of nuts. So that just speaks to their defense.
The Sabres been doing that all season.
Right, exactly. So that's why I think the Kraken are a much better hockey team than the Sabres are. But again, they were just embarrassed on home ice last night, got shut out against Philly. I look for them to kind of bounce back here, and it's a perfect flop leg. I know we use the flop leg term a lot, right, on the DFS side, but I've always competed in sports my whole life, right? If I get embarrassed, I don't want to get embarrassed twice in a row, right? Like that's bad. That's tough. So perfect bounce back spot for Buffalo. The only issue is Seattle has been pretty suffocating on the road on defense. They allow the 3rd least shots per game at 27.5 roughly last 5 road games, and only are allowing about 2.4 goals per game through that stretch as well. The only issue is now they're facing a Buffalo team who averages almost 5.5 goals per game on home ice last 5. So overall, I think this game shoots out. I think we could see a track meet here. Buffalo being extra motivated after being embarrassed. And last game, they lost to these same Kraken guys in Seattle 5-1. So, I mean, that's kind of double motivation, right? They got shut out last night by Philly, got owned by Seattle last game as well. I could see Tage Thompson here and Skinner and Alex Tuck to come out firing, and that's going to lead to an up and down game, right? And back and forth, and we should see a lot of goals here.
Yeah. I was thinking, I mean, that over 6.5 seems like a can't miss play. Tanner, though, where are you on this game?
Yeah, I mean, give me the over. That seems like a no-brainer. Like you said, Buffalo just got absolutely embarrassed last night. I don't think that happens again tonight. I mean, both starting goalies. I mean, UPL is going to be in net for Buffalo, and Grubauer is likely going to be in net. Both goalies are averaging 3.5 goals against a game, sub 90% save percentages. Like the way these teams are scoring, I don't see how that doesn't hit tonight. 6.5. I could see this being like an 8 or 9 goal game. It's just give me that all day, every day. We always talk about the teams on back-to-backs and everything, the road teams there. You get the Sabres puck line first period plus 175. DraftKings did add it, but it was the last one they added. Me and Nate's were talking. We thought they maybe caught on to the bet and got rid of it, but
no shot. They didn't catch on.
Yeah. They added that one, and it was the only game that didn't have it this morning, so I got a little fishy there. But you can get the first period over as well, 1.5 for minus 155. We talk about that one all the time. If they don't both hit, one of them's probably going to hit. So in the long run, that's just going to print. So the over here is definitely my favorite play. I do think Buffalo takes the win here just because you got to bounce back after what happened last night. That was just embarrassing. They were getting outshot like 3 or 4-1 and through the first 2 periods. And I just don't see that happening again with the firepower they have on that team. And it's just, to me, it comes down to how good these teams are at scoring and just how not good their goalies have been. So yeah, give me the over on this game all day, every day.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're on the same page here. I mean, there's just a storyline can be made for either team on why they're play.
Yeah, I do have a play here as well. I forgot to hit on it. So
yeah,
looking at the numbers, Buffalo's power play has an incredible matchup. I mean, they're cashing in. So my power play numbers, I use roughly the last month, home versus road. So it's only a 3-game sample for Buffalo through that stretch. But they're sitting at 43% on the power play. Kraken are sitting at 75% on the penalty kill. And give me Dylan Cousins here. Anytime goal scorer, plus 240 on DraftKings. He's on that top power play. He was the only Buffalo Sabre I played last night, had 7 shots on goal. So he's certainly active. He's out there. He's playing better, has a goal in 2 of his last 3 against the Seattle team. I don't see how he doesn't score at least 1 tonight. He's 5.7K. And he still gets you access to that top line for Buffalo under 6K. So like him quite a bit. And that's where I'm at for this game.
Fair enough. Yeah. And then for those of you that are kind of new to the NHL betting, what Tanner was touching on, one of the best bets in hockey is the first period over on teams playing back-to-back, as well as
it's home team first period puck line when the away team is on game 2 of a back-to-back.
Yes.
And you take the first period over as well. It's always going to be at 1.5 unless for some reason.
So not always the best value, but it is straight money. It is unfortunate you can't parlay it to, at least on FanDuel.
No.
Can you on DraftKings?
No, you can't.
Yeah, so you can parlay. You can parlay. Like, so if there's 3 teams, right? So like, say there's 3 home teams and the road team is on a back-to-back with travel, right? You can pair all 3 of those home teams, first period, whatever lines together to boost your odds. And then you can probably do the same thing, right, with the first period over in all 3 of those. But yeah, you can't parlay them in the same game, right? Yep. Bet the first period over and the puck line. But overall, I haven't tracked it recently, but when I was tracking it in the beginning of the year, every single one of them hit. With 2 of them were being a push, so it was impossible to lose money, right? Because if one hits and the other one pushes, or you lose, you're up either way.
The home team puck line first period's almost always going to be plus money. You're getting the Sabres plus 175 right now. And if the over hits and they don't win it, you're still getting minus 155. So it's going to cover a majority of the unit you lost there. But it's that one just seems to be a printer. I've been doing it a bit still, and it just seems like it hits one or the other hits almost every single time.
Yeah. That's why people come in. That's why you come to Run Pure, because you get the intel like that. We'll move along though. Next game up, there's some talk about in the chat. Vancouver, they're on the second leg of a 5-game road trip. After giving up 7 goals to the Winnipeg Jets, they head to Pittsburgh. I'm going to start with the unbiased opinion. So Nade's a 5-man. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, I mean, this game screams Pittsburgh slam here. I've been targeting the Canucks all year long. I mean, it's a dumpster fire franchise. There's a bunch of stuff going on in the locker room, right? Coaches sitting players and thinks that it's Besser's fault, and it's certainly not Besser's fault, right? Like he bumped him to the third line, then he sat him, and then he came back, was on the second line, then up to the first. Like, there's just all kinds of stuff. Yeah, he's lost the locker room there in Vancouver, which is never good. And overall, I mean, they've just been in track meets, just giving up goals left and right. If I look on my matchup sheet here, on the road, they're averaging almost 4 goals per game against. Last 5, they're allowing towards top 10 in shots against, which obviously is not good. Not great on the penalty kill. They do limit penalties against, so I would look more for 5v5 correlation here with the Penguins. But overall, I think this is an excellent spot for Pittsburgh to kind of blow the doors off this Vancouver team. And they lost 5-1 to the same Vancouver team last time in Vancouver. So I look for them to kind of stick it to them here on their home ice. So love them. Raquel, 5.9K, great play. Overall, just any of these top 2 lines. And I wouldn't even hate the third line with like Jeff Carter and some of those guys. I mean, they can still score. It's a good matchup, but overall, I mean, Sid the Kid, Jake the Snake up on the top line. Great matchups, and doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that you can play these Penguins against these Canucks on home ice here. Likely pretty chalky, but there's so many ways to get different in NHL DFS. I never really worry about chalk on the stacks in general. Chalk on a goalie, I'll pay a little bit more attention to, right? Because it's more variance. Much goalie's kind of like your pitcher, right? For all the new viewers here tuning in, but just more variance, right? So that's where I'll tend to zig when others zag. But overall, Pittsburgh, great spot.
Yeah, for sure. So Tanner kind of mentioned at the top of the show, Penguins were on a 6-game losing streak. They needed a game at home against the Coyotes to snap it, but hopefully they can get back on a roll here. So Tanner, man, how much of a beatdown are you expecting tonight?
Honestly, I wish I was more confident in saying it would be more of one. It's just the Penguins have done a lot of travel lately. They're a pretty banged up team. I mean, Jari got hurt in the Winter Classic. We mentioned that before. They're still out. Letang's still not back with the team. Petrie's still out. Poling, Archibald, a few of those depth guys. And after the game against the Coyotes, they got on a flight at 4 a.m. to go to Montreal to go to Letang's father's funeral. And then they got in yesterday morning, I think. So, a lot of travel there. But yeah, I think they're gonna be fired up for sure. I think they score some goals here. I think the over is certainly in play tonight. It's sitting at 6.5. You're getting minus 130 on that. So obviously the books are pretty on board with this being a goal fest. Penguins are minus 190. So I'll probably be the only one who takes it at that line. But I Crosby and them, he's just a psychopath. And, now that they kicked the losing streak, I definitely think they come out firing. Just the way they've disappointed me lately. I can see them getting a 2-3 goal lead and then Vancouver coming and put themselves right back in it. And that's unfortunately how I see this one going. I mean, DeSmith has been good, but the over is definitely where I go here. I could see the Penguins really letting things down with all the travel and everything that's been going on right now. But I think they have it in them to win, but I'm not the most confident. Over's where I'm sitting. But to ride the hot hand as far as goal scorers there, I know we always talk about, Crosby, Jake the Snake and all that. Jason Zucker is the leading scorer the last 5 games. He's plus 235 right now as a goal scorer. Him and Malkin paired up for a beautiful goal last game against the Coyotes, a little toe drag across the crease there. So I might be sprinkling that one in a little bit. He's been very good since he came back from his injury. So I like him a lot tonight.
Fantastic. It's a shame Letang's still out, man, because that would be an automatic goal score for sure.
I still think they're gonna rally here, right? Like the whole team was there supporting Letang and his father. Obviously, unfortunate event there, but that's part of life, right? So I think they bounce back here. One thing to note. Bo Horvat has 3 goals in his last 3. Against this Penguins squad here. Not great value. I mean, he's minus 110, and I don't want to lay juice on an anytime goal scorer ever. But
Horvat's plus 154.
Is he? Yeah, I'm on draft.
I got him plus 180 on DraftKings right now.
Okay.
Are you looking at shots?
Yeah. That's what I was. Okay. Yeah. That's what I was looking at. So yeah. Plus money there. I don't hate that. He's, like I said, 2 goals last game against Pittsburgh, goal the game before that. So I definitely like that. And then let me hit on Tom's question here.
I'm just about to get to that.
Yeah. So Tom, how many stacks do I like in my lineup? So on our playbook that we publish to the website, each and every NHL slate, 3 games or more here, we'll lay out our 5 top stacks of the day. But in terms of roster construction, it kind of depends on the slate for me, especially in DraftKings. That's where I mainly focus, just because the prize pools and things are much better than FanDuel. But I'll typically, 4-3-1 is going to be your common, right? Four from one team, 3 from another, and then kind of a one-off is kind of your most common stack that you'll see used that has success in terms of roster construction. But personally, for myself, I typically like 3-man, kind of like more of a 3-3-2, something more mini stacks, just especially on a large slate, right? I mean, you're kind of pushing your chips in if you're grabbing 4 from a team, and one thing right? You grab 4 from a team, and then it's the other 2 lines that score, and you don't have any of the goals. You're kind of drawn stone dead. So that's where you can get more away with, especially in smaller field single entries and things like that. You can get more away with the mini stacks. Obviously, sometimes you're not going to full ship the entire contest right? But you can be more profitable in my term, or in my opinion, over time. Grabbing some more 3-3-2s or 2-man stacks that still have correlation, because correlation's huge in NHL DFS.
Cool. Yeah. Right on. Anything else on this game before we move along, Tanner?
No, let's go Pens. Let's keep it rolling.
Fair enough. Next game I got on my schedule, the Jets. We talked about the whomping they just gave to Vancouver. They head to Detroit, take on the Red Wings. Looks like they'll finally have Bertuzzi back tonight. Nades, how much does that help this team having Bertuzzi back? And as Campbell's asking, or as he's pointing out, hard to stay away from that top line, especially when they just scored 7.
Yeah, so I tend to agree. If I look at my matchup sheet here, as Campbell points out here, Detroit has given up 4 goals per game on average last 5 on home ice. They do limit shots, but when the opposing teams put shots on net, they tend to find the back of the net, which is obviously what you want. Pierre Dubois is literally on fire. He just come off a 5 shot on goal, 0 goal. He didn't have a goal, but he had 4 assists. I like him quite a bit tonight. He's at 6K flat. Him and Kyle Connor is one of the most slept on studs in the entire league, especially on the DFS side. He just does not ever draw a ton of ownership. And I mean, the dude is averaging 20 DK points in his last 5 per game. He's just a stud. I love him. That top line. Ehlers is back as well. He just come off. Obviously, it was Vancouver, right? They just destroyed Vancouver. But overall, I mean, his price point is fair. Connor's price point is fair. On the flip side, Bertuzzi is a flat 3K, which is very, very tasty because he's on that top line. He's on that top power play. The only issue is I don't know if he's going to see his full ice time, especially if these guys are getting routed by the Jets, right? He's been out for the last, I don't even know how many games. I don't know if he's even played this year yet. Maybe early in the year he played, but he was out for very long extended period of time here. But 3K flat, top line, top power play run. He's going to shoot when he's in there. And he's skating with Dylan Larkin and Raymond. So you can do worse at 3K. He's a good play there. The only issue is looks like Hellebuck is going to be in that. I like him quite a bit. He's just a stud. I don't care that he's not at home. This Detroit squad has not been great. So overall, I think that the Jets rolling pretty easily here.
Fair enough. Tanner, man, what do you got on this game?
No, same thing. Jets, they're one of my favorite teams this year. Hellebuck, when he's locked in, is just impossible to score on. Like you said, that top line for the Jets, Kyle Connor, 10 points in his last 5 games. 5 of those points are goals. PLD's been on an absolute tear with 6 assists. Like, they're just such a hard team to get away from. And they're minus 140 right now in that money line. Definitely intrigued with them there. I mean, Ville Husso, I think you can take his goals against her prop is at 2.5 and getting minus 140. I don't mind that at all, just because I sometimes prefer those over the Jets, the team totals, just because you're definitely going to get a little more value on those ones.
So he's gone over that. And let me tell you right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games straight, he's gone over that 2.5 goals against. That's a pretty good.
And you take that compared to the team total there for the Jets to score 2.5, you're getting minus 215 versus minus 140. So it's just the value difference is crazy. I won't go over 3.5 when it comes to goalie, just because that 3 marks where you kind of risk them getting pulled if it happens too quick. So anytime I see the 2.5, I prefer that on the goalies goes against than I do to the team totals. So I definitely have some interest in that one, but I just see the Jets steamrolling them here. The power play matchup is going to be great for the Jets. They're at 33% right now. Detroit's just been a train wreck, 60% on the kill. They're giving up the 8th most penalties over the last 5 games. So, I mean, you give guys like Kyle Connor and PLD who have just been on a tear, you give them that many opportunities, they're going to get some points on the board. I mean, just looking at some props here, Kyle Connor to record 1.5 points, plus 150. Ehlers is a little less juicy. It's minus 145 just to record a point. PLDA, you're getting minus 175 to record a point. So out of that, I mean, Kyle Connor, 2 points seems to be it's what he's averaging over the last 5 games. I mean, does he keep it up? It's tough. 2 points a game is a tough level to keep going, but I certainly think that's doable, especially in a game like this. Like I said, the Jets are one of my favorite teams to be betting on this year. They're just one of the most under talked about, but just one of the most complete squads you're going to get in the NHL. So minus 140, give me the Jets.
Love it. I agree with you there. Detroit just can't really get anything going this season, and coming off that great game, I don't know how you lose to Detroit. So I'm definitely rolling with it. Nade's a 5-man. So you said you like the play in DFS because it's cheap price tag at plus 260. Fade or play Bertuzzi anytime goal. Fade or play?
I wouldn't play it. I think there's other better spots. It's just hard to promise how much ice time he's going to get. I mean, he's been out.
First game back, you never know.
Yeah, he's been out an extended time. Helly's a great goaltender. The Jets have been playing. I mean, they're playing incredible. I don't feel comfortable betting. I think we can get. We've obviously given out some pretty solid 3-1, 5-1 type anytime goal scorers this year already on these shows. So I mean, you can do better there. And I did want to go back and hit on Bob here. So yeah, I was seeing Hedman was projected to be back. He looks like he was out last game, right? The baby narrative. So I like Hedman a lot here. I mean, he's very reasonably priced, and Tampa's in the best matchup on the entire slate. So definitely like him quite a bit on the DFS side. Just wanted to hit on that as well.
Yeah, man. And with that dad strength, does he have a prop up?
Yeah. What's his prop at?
I don't think he has anything listed because he was listed as like questionable or doubtful earlier in the day. Oh no, there it is. Oh my gosh. Plus 370.
Yeah.
You got to take it. The narrative plays a bit on fire lately.
Yep. Hate to jump to best bets this early, but that's going to be a hard one to beat.
So what's even his points prop at? I mean, that's got to be up there too if his goal score is that high.
No kidding.
It's only minus 200 on that.
We'll move along though. Up next, we got I see we got VIP in the chat, and the next game up is the Dallas Stars at the New York Islanders. Stars they've been tough team to predict of late. They were just wrecking earlier in the season, but they've kind of taken a step back. But they're playing a horrible New York team. Although, not to knock on the Islanders, they're always liable to upset a solid team. So, Tanner, man, what's your look on this one?
Yeah, this is another one of those. I just can't get a read on these teams. The Stars either light a team up for 5-6 goals, or they get lit up for 5-6 goals, even without Ottinger and that. And they're going against Sorokin, who's been both a nightmare for some of us at RPS, and he's also saved the day a few times. He's just one of those guys, when he's locked in, he is just locked in. Just looking at the numbers, like both these teams both shoot a ton, home road splits and all that. But being on home ice, it's tough for me to say. Just because with how good I know Sorokin can be, home ice, give me the Islanders. I don't know if I love it, or if I don't know if I'll be telling my friends to take that one. But if I had to pick one there, I'd go there. Unders at 5.5. I don't know. It's tricky for me. Like I said, I can see these guys just blowing up for a 6.5. I can see it. Like last game went for 7 goals. That's the one time they've played already this year. And that was almost 2 months ago. So obviously things change. But I think if I had to pick here, the unders where I'm going to be looking. I mean, Sorokin's at 28.5 on his saves prop right now. Where's the Islanders? Shots against. They're only allowing 24 shots on their on home ice right now, but Dallas is taking on average 35 shots. They're both teams around 35. Very similar numbers, but I don't know. It just makes it tricky when teams have such similar numbers on these home road splits. It makes it so hard to really pick which team's going to play to their averages and which one's going to go the other way. So if you can get the under at 6, I think hop on that one. DraftKings has it at 5.5 right now, and I feel like I'm just kind of rambling on, trying to think of something really, really profound to say about this game. But I mean, it should be a great game. I think the Stars can light it up. Noah, was it Rupe Hintz is out of the lineup tonight?
He's out.
I saw. Yeah, he didn't travel with the team, so that really kills that, not kills that top line. It definitely deals a blow to their depth and all that. Sagan, I think, gets the bump up. So just being on home ice and looking at the numbers being so even, I think the Islanders have a very strong chance here. But I think if anything, I'm going to Sorokin's, his save prop 28.5, or one of the, maybe at some point I'll take one of the goals against for some of these goalies at both the 2.5. You're getting the under on both of them is 2.5, and you're getting -110 for Sorokin, -115 for Ottinger. So I think that's where I'll be looking here. But beyond that, not a whole lot of excitement.
Yeah, I mean, it's great gems we've been giving out on front and center ice. We've been killing those anytime goal scorer props. Over under is something we have struggled at. But with Ottinger and Sorokin in that, I got a hard time not taking the under here. Nate's a fine man. What do you think? Smart play, or are we missing something? Is Robertson going to have a hell of a game? And
let me just throw this. Let me throw this up real quick.
Yeah.
VIP's poster child there made the first cover of this show, so I had to just showcase him there. I don't know what he's smoking on right now. He's in chat talking about Edmonton. I don't know what slate he's looking at, but the slate I'm looking at doesn't have Edmonton on. It's just naturally he tunes in right when we're about to get to his Dallas homer boys. I mean, I don't know anyone else who strokes it to their home teams more than VIP does. But hey, I mean, you want to talk about homer? He's the biggest homer, saying Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl and Stars are going to win.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Stars are going to win the cup, and I mean, it's just a tough scene for VIP. But I mean, hey, he's going to go back to that marble double staircase he posted in the chat there and sip on some of his Blantons and watch his Stars lose to the Islanders here tonight. I mean, I don't see how the Islanders don't beat this team. Rupee Hintz is out for Dallas. It's scary going against Robo and the boys here, but I'm gonna side with the Islanders on home ice. They deploy that last change, dictate the matchups that they want here. But overall, from a DFS side, I think this game's a complete fade outside of goalies. I mean, I'm not going to target a 5.5 goal total on a 10-game slate. If you want to do it, good, go ahead. I mean, it's going to be unowned, but it's likely unowned for a good reason, right? Typically, we don't see too many 5.5 totals, just like we don't see too many 7 totals. Usually it's 6.5. So when you do see a 5.5 total, it's pretty scary. But when I look at my matchup sheet, I mean, there's more red than any other matchup on this entire slate. So overall, fading this game outside of goalies. I mean, both goaltenders are in play here, even though I think Islanders are going to win. That's why I lean Sorokin. He's cheaper as well. But Otter at 7.8K, wouldn't fault anyone for going there. Both of these teams do shoot the puck a lot, so saves upside there is pretty big. And if you can get a goaltender on DraftKings that hits that save bonus at 35, I mean, you're in mint shape as long as your other pieces come through. It doesn't happen too often, but yeah, off this game in general.
Fair enough. Yeah, VIP lighting it up. I might be on the move and be going to Dallas here soon. So if that happens, I'll join him. We'll tear up a Stars game.
I did find one little tidbit here. I mean, if with the way the goalies, I expect this game to kind of go, you can get the first period under at 1.5 for +100. So, I mean, you're getting a little better payout there. I mean, it's still not the most exciting play in the world, but I mean, a 1-goal period or even 0-0 is a very realistic possibility, in my opinion. So I don't hate that one at all. Yeah, for the first period under.
Yeah, that's a great call. That's a great call. What's the I don't know if DraftKings has it, the no goal first 10 minutes. See if I beat you to it.
Oh wow, it's +115.
That's too.
Not bad at all, actually.
Yeah, let me look at these two past matchups.
So you do that. Let's give a shout out to Brittany J. Hit that like button. She knows what's up. Bringing you all the NHL action, all the best picks. Least you can do is drop us a like. We got 3 games here to go. Nate's a fine man. Did you got something you want to add before we move on?
Yeah, so their last matchup did pop a little bit, 5-2. Dallas did win, but again, that was on home ice. And they lost 4-2 in the game last year that they played in New York. Obviously, the teams are different and things like that, but past history isn't end all be all. But I do like to just look at it from a high level perspective, right, before digging further into it. So
Sorokin. I'm sorry. Yeah, Sorokin didn't play in that 5-2 game.
Correct. Yeah. So Sorokin hasn't seen the Stars team, and they're at home. So I just lean the Islanders here, but overall, it's a pretty gross game.
Cool. Awesome. We'll move along then. Better games ahead. Next game I got on my slate. Actually, it's not that much better. It's another game I can't really get a read on. Calgary visiting St. Louis. St. Louis is a banged up team. Calgary is about as hot and cold as it gets. No pun intended there. So, Tanner, help me out, man. You got something on this one?
I was hoping you'd help me out. I can't figure these Blues out. I got them right last time against the Canadians, but it seems every time I badmouth them, they just, shove it where the sun don't shine. So it's just, I on the road here, I mean, the Flames, like you said, have been very streaky, but they've been a lot better. They're shooting almost 40 times a game. They're only allowing, 26 shots a game. I definitely give them the edge here, but I mean, just given the odds here on home ice, the Blues plus 145, I really don't hate that. Like, they've just been grinding teams out, and just you'd think the injuries were going to come home to roost, but it just really doesn't seem like it's been that way. I mean, who is it? Brandon Saad, he's got 5 goals in the last 5. Buchnevich has 6 assists, 7 points total. Like, they're getting the scoring from some of these depth guys like Robert Thomas. Kyrou can still play, all this stuff. So it just seems like the team's gelled a lot more than I expected them to, given the players that were taken out. I do like that. I mean, it's a tough game to call because, I mean, I say this now, the Flames are going to win like 6-1 or something like that. But I think Binnington, I don't mind this. Binnington save prop, is 29.5, getting minus 110 on that. I don't mind that at all because, I mean, St. Louis is giving up, 29-ish shots a game. Like I said, the volume Calgary's had on the road, almost 40 shots a game. So even if he lets 3 or 4 in, like, he should still be getting, 30+ saves fairly easy. I think I'll have some interest in that one. But like I said, as far as picking a winner, I just cannot figure out what this Blues team is going to do. And the Flames have had my number all year. I thought they were going to be so much better to start the year. And yeah, I just can't figure them out.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of lean Calgary here. They are the favorite, knowing what they're capable of and seeing that puck line at plus 152. That's the way I lean if I got to make a play, but certainly a tough one. Nate Sva, something we don't?
Yeah, so I'll hit on that real quick, but I did want to call out Colin here. Yeah, so Winnipeg's one of the best stacks of the night. This Vancouver team is not Vancouver, sorry. They're playing Detroit, but overall, Detroit's not been good on home ice. So yeah, we like Winnipeg quite a bit here. And I think it was like the 4th game or something we covered. So if you want to rewind back after the video and hear my breakdown, it'll be there for you. So overall, yeah, this game, I lean Calgary. I think Calgary kind of handles this Blues team pretty easily. The Blues just shut out the Wild last game, which was a big win for them. So I look for them to kind of come in a little flat here. It was in Minnesota, right? So they're obviously back home here against Calgary, but shutting out Minnesota in Minnesota, where Minnesota can dictate matchups, right, and throw Eck on the high scoring lines and stuff like that. I mean, that's an impressive win. And it was very hurtful for me because I was full stack in the Wild that game, but it was just a pathetic showing for Minnesota. But bravo to these Blues. This Blue squad here for kind of shoving it to Wild, which is my technically home team that I cheer for. So that was a little hurtful, but I think they get steamrolled here by the Flames. Flames are one of the top stacks. It's not a pure numbers play here, but it's just it's more of an eye test play. Kadri is playing incredible right now. I mean, he's shooting the puck a lot. Lindholm's up there. Toffoli's up there. I just think they come in and kind of roll this team. This last matchup, granted, it was in Calgary, but it was a 7-1 routing in Calgary's favor. They kind of handled this team pretty easily. And I think that was when with St. Louis at full strength. Obviously, St. Louis is not at full strength without Tarasenko still. And I believe who else is out? They're missing
O'Reilly still out?
O'Reilly and
Buchnevich. Buchnevich is out too, isn't he?
Is he? I didn't see.
Bushnevich, yeah. So I think he's out as well. So again, I
Yep.
mean, yeah. So they're pretty injury riddled here. That's why you're seeing guys like Brandon Saad, who's actually playing incredible. He's pretty cheap. So I do have some interest there. I mean, he's averaging close to 20 DK points in his last 4. So don't hate that. I mean, he's 3.4K, does get power play run. Overall, I like these Flames though in this one. They're one of the top 5 stacks on our playbook that you can check out on runpuresports.com, where Matty Ice and myself, I saw Matty in chat. He will be joining us on these shows, which we have brought to you live now 3 days a week. So did want to call that out as well. I appreciate all the good comments we're getting in chat here. We saw there was an opportunity, right, to kind of post some of this NHL content, as there's not much else in the industry. So we're hoping here, Run Pure Sports, we can bring you guys the winners for free 3 days a week here and potentially more. But overall, yeah, Flames great spot. Like some of these guys, and Kadri 6.2K is very cheap. And I mean, he's shooting the puck nearly 4 times per game. So I like him quite a bit.
Yeah, love it. Love it. That's why we got a 3-man panel. Tanner and I both kind of on the fence, and Nadesify taking a stand with Calgary. There it is. Lock it in. Another game that I'm just going to pass off to you, man. San Jose Sharks are playing in Arizona. Do we even need to talk about it, or can we just lock in the Yotes?
Yeah. So, like I said, every show the Yotes are at home here. I play them more than probably their moms do in DFS. But I mean, both teams are coming in on a losing streak. Yotes on a 5-game losing streak. Sharks on a 3-game losing streak. I'm going to side with the Yotes here. No surprise to anyone. Veggie's a great play in that. He's 7.4K, I believe. Everyone just gawks over this Sharks team for whatever reason. I mean, yeah, they got Timo Meier and Eric Carlson and Couture and Hurdle and some of those guys. But overall, I think this Yotes team just kind of stifles them a little bit here. I mean, the Sharks have been one of the worst road teams in the league as of late, last 5, allowing nearly 4 goals per game. And what's crazy is the issue with the Yotes, right, is line correlation. It's pretty tough, right? But I really like this third line here, which is going to sound kind of strange. But Clayton Keller's on that third line with Nick Schmaltz and Hayton, which Barrett Hayton is playing good. He's shooting right around 3 times per game. He's $200 more than min price, seeing top power play run in a matchup that is favorable. Like him quite a bit. Again, like that whole third line. Nice thing about Keller and Hayton, they're both on the top power play as well. So you get the correlation there as well as Schmaltz. So that whole third line's all together on the power play, which is very rare to see with this Yotes team. It's usually pretty hard to get power play correlation and full line correlation. So I like them quite a bit. They're very reasonable, very good secondary stack to fit with teams like, like Winnipeg, like your Tampa, because at their price tags, they have upside, and they've won us a lot of money over here at Run Pure Sports when I make calls like this. But another one, our boy, I'm going back to the well here. Lawson Krause is going to score at least 1 goal here tonight. He has incredible history against the Sharks. I don't know I haven't looked what his prop is, but I knew I was going to.
Plus 225.
Yeah, so locking in plus 225. I don't see how he doesn't score a goal here. He has, let me see. He has 4 goals in his last 3 games against the Sharks. All in San Jose. I like it more at home because he's going to see increased ice time, right around 18 to 20 minutes a game on that top line. Doesn't get power play work, but he's 3.8K, so he doesn't need it at that price, especially on the DFS side. But on the bet side, like him, I don't know how he doesn't score a goal here tonight. Like that quite a bit. So that's where I'm at. Give me the Yotes here. On the Sharks side, don't love a ton. Timo Meier, obviously, he can be always playable. He was a walking literally flamethrower earlier this year. Feels like he had 2 goals in every game for like 2-week stretch. He's slowed down a little bit, but he's kind of heating up recently here. The only issue is his price tag's very, very high. And I think the Yotes win this game, snap their losing streak. And in terms of the Yotes defenders, it's Chychrun or Ghost. I lean Ghost side here. He's on that top power play as well. And he's about almost 2K cheaper than what Chychrun is. So I like him quite a bit as well.
Tanner, man, you rocking with the Yotes with the rest of us, or you want to be a contrarian?
No, absolutely. Let's go, Yotes. Anytime you're giving me plus money on the Coyotes on home ice, especially against a team like the Sharks, I mean, it's just a no-brainer. That, like, I always talk about how they crush it on that home bar, and I mean, people gave them shit since it's the college arena holds 5,000 people, but those places get loud, they get rocking. The energy in those places, it can kind of be like a bit of like shell shock to some of these teams coming in there that are used to, especially San Jose, who probably plays like 60% capacity on a good home game. So they come in, people are screaming, they got mullets they're giving out to people to hang out and stuff like that. So I mean, just the energy gets going in there. So yeah, you give me plus 120 on the Coyotes at home, I'm taking that to the bank every single time. Vejmelka's been known to stand on his head here and there, so I mean, he's always good DFS wise. And you're getting Capo Kakinen on the other end. He's 869 save percentage, almost a 4 goals against. It's just I just love this match. Yeah, I just love this matchup for the Coyotes. And like I said, anytime you're giving me plus money on that, it's just almost impulsive. I have to take it.
No doubt.
Take it to the bank, baby.
Pretty straightforward one there. So we head to the last game on the slate. Avalanche coming off a great OT win against the Oilers, but now they host the Panthers, a team that knows how to score. I lean towards the Panthers as a dog. However, I just got trouble betting against the reigning champs at home. Nadesify, you're shaking your head. I'll let you start it off.
I mean, come on, Zark. Like, you can't be back in this Florida squad here. I mean, I get it, but on the road, this Florida team is just not the same. They're second worst in the league in goals scored last 5 on the road, and they're the third worst in allowing goals. I mean, 4.6 goal per game average against last 5 on the road. And now you head into Colorado to face a healthy Avs team who is getting healthier with
a healthy Avs teams. Come on, Nate. A healthy Avs team,
healthier than they have been, I should say. But I mean, when you got Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Mikko Rantanen, like, what more do you need, right? Like, I think these Avs are a great play here, a great hammer. The only issue is their price tags are up there, but I mean, it's warranted. I mean, Nathan McKinnon's one of the best players in the league. Obviously, you got some absolute studs out there like McDavid. Tage is making a name for himself too. But I like this top line quite a bit. And the nice thing about what the Avs are doing because of some of these injuries that they've had and are dealing with is Evan Rodriguez is on that top line with McKinnon at a very reasonable price tag, and he's playing great. So I like him quite a bit. But like that top power play for the Avs and like this top line as well. Overall, I think the Avs are a good hammer stack. I'm completely off the Panthers here. If they kill me, they kill me. I did cover this game in the playbook and kind of said exactly what I just said. The Avs are allowing the 3rd or 4th least shots per game on home ice. So they've been better on home ice. And McKinnon, I mean, it's hard to ever bet against McKinnon, right? I mean, he can do it himself. So that's where I'm at. Like the Avs in this one, and think they score at least 4 here.
If not the Panthers, can I at least take the over?
Yeah, so let me take a look. The only issue is, it's 6. It's only gone over. So it's 2-2 in the last 4 going over. But 4-2 in the last
arena.
Yeah, 4-2 in the last 6 in the same matchup. It's hard for me to take the over when Florida's not scoring on the road. They're not shooting even on the road, and Colorado's limiting shots as well. So that's tough. I mean, unless Colorado hangs a touchdown, I don't know how it goes over. I could see like a 5-1. Obviously, you would push there, but a 4-1 type game is what I'm looking at, or a 4-0 type game.
In the Avs route.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever want to suggest a shutout because every time you say the word shutout, whether there's 10 seconds left in the third period or 18 minutes, I mean, it's never gonna. They'll always find a way to score one and take that bonus away from the goalie. But Georgiev, I probably butchered that name like every other name I pronounced.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't too bad.
He's 8.1K. His last game against Florida had a 36 save win. Saw 38 shots, saved 36 of them, and put up almost 30 DK points. So he's good. He's not a bad play. 8.1 if you're spending up, he's a fine option. But I'm probably gonna push my chips in on veggie there for Arizona at 7.4K because I think they win the game as well.
So first off, you can get a shutout at plus 860 if you want to throw a nickel on that. But then
that's not bad.
Colorado over 3.5 goals plus 128. You advising that, Nadesify?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that. It's tough to do that. I mean, their last game they hung 5 on this team, so it could happen. They're playing. The only issue is last 5 too for Colorado at home. They're sitting under 2 goals per game. So, I mean, it's kind of a terrible defense versus a terrible home offense as of late. What one's going to give is kind of. I lean towards the terrible defense, right? Given into the offense that's been bad. So I don't know if I hang that. I'd rather. I mean, 8 almost 9-1, right, on the shutout. That's probably where I'd go. Throw half a unit or something on that.
Kind of backing down the big talk now, but all right, so be it. So be it. And then just to clear something up, Tanner, I want to get your thoughts on this game before we do. Ty's got a good question. Who from Colorado? Do you just mean McKinnon? Do you just mean McKinnon's back?
Yeah, I mean, how is it just McKinnon? I mean, Nathan McKinnon is one of the best hockey players in the entire league, right?
Well, I'm just saying they still got Mulligan out, Francoeurs, Byram, Manson, Landeskog.
So Skog is their big one that's out, right? But
Josh Manson, do not underestimate Josh Manson.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you still have McKinnon, you still have Rant, you still have McCarr. Like Rodriguez is playing good, Confer's playing good. Like
I completely agree. Ty Byram too. He's another stud. Like we're going to shut you down for a second. If we had the penalty box, you'd be in it because you're all over the place. Tanner, man, take it away.
We'll see what happens at the end of the night here when Colorado's up 5-1 and your Florida boys are.
Oh, so now it's 5-1. So now the over 3.5 is a good play.
I mean, I said 4. I think 4 goals. So if that holds true, that over is going to hit, but. You're not getting a lot of value.
Clear it up.
You're not getting a lot of value, dude.
Clear it up. Give the people the concise take.
I mean, I just want to listen to Nadesify pronounce everybody's name properly. But I think, give me the Abs here. I mean, they're on home ice. One of the main reasons I like them so much is you get Bobrovsky in that for Florida, and he's just been terrible. He's averaging over 3 goals against on the road, like an 8.76 or something save percentage. He's not been good, and his numbers aren't going to help this Florida team that's allowing almost 5 goals a game in their last 5 road games. Like you said, Colorado's been on that slip, only scoring 2 goals in the last few home games there. But I think when you have guys like, not their health, the guys who are healthy, I guess they're like you said, McKinnon's back and all that stuff. Once he shakes the rust off and all that, he's got a few games under his belt. He's going to start lighting things up. And I don't know, he's just such a hard player to skate with. So.
I mean,
give me that one. I don't know if I
quite. Game.
Yeah, I know.
I think his rust is gone.
I feel like he shoots a ton, but I don't know. He's always one of those guys that shoots a ton, but doesn't quite score given the number of shots he takes. Right. Not to say he doesn't score. I'm just saying he always seems like the shots are always up there. What's his shot prop at right now? That's goal scorer. Plus 135 goal scorer. Not bad.
Actually, I was just on it.
I don't even see his shot. Oh, shot prop. Yeah, 4.5 minus 155. I'll probably stay off that one. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I quite get to, the what'd you say, the 3.5 line or whatever for it. I don't know if I quite get there, but I do like them to win. You get minus 130 for it. You can get plus 115 if you'd like the regulation win, which I don't mind at all. Like you said, Florida's been struggling to score.
Take the Colorado's.
Yeah, that's you're getting a plus 180 on that one, which is a great payout there. But yeah, it's just Florida's struggling to score here, and there's Colorado's just really not allowing shots. Florida's not taking that many shots, so Georgiev might not see the volume you would expect, from a team that's such a high offense first team like the Avalanche. They've seemed to have locked it down a lot more lately and just more focused on defense. I don't know if just because of the injuries they want to play a little more back so you don't get burned defensively. But yeah, I really do like the Avs here. I might sprinkle a little bit on that puck line. Plus 180 is a juicy payout given, just looking at some of these numbers. But minus 130 is definitely a good payout given how I expect this game to go.
Love it. I love it. Before we get to best bets, best plays of the night, another quick reminder, hit that like button. Check us out at Run Pure Sports. Date bets, fantasy, every sport's covered in one price. So come on, join. And you know what? Even if you just like the YouTube shows, even if you just come in, you're like, this is all the information I need, still check out our site. Check out the merch. Support the cause. So smash that like button. And as a reminder, here are the anytime goal scorers we have talked about that we like. Hughes plus 154, Pacioretty plus 156, Horvat plus 154, Zucker plus 285, Lawson Krause plus 225, and then the big ones, Hedman plus 370, and Reeves at plus 500. I'll kick off our best bets. Daddy Zargs, I'm rocking with the dad. You got to give me Hedman to score at plus 370. Sorry if I stole that out from underneath one of you guys, but I know you come up with something else.
Yeah, Iowa. So my best bet is going to be that Avs puck line. I mean, you're almost 2-1 on a puck line where I'm very confident clearly in the Avs to kind of roll this Panther squad here. So that's going to be my best bet. And then my top stack of the day is going to be that Jets top line for Winnipeg there. 7-0. I mean, they're coming off a 7-goal performance. I don't see how they don't keep it rolling here. And so give me the Jets and then give me the Avs puck line there.
Tanner, man, close us out.
I mean, yeah, you just kind of broke the ice there with the Jets. I like them. Give me the puck line on that. Plus 175 for them, 1.5. And I think they steamroll this Detroit team on the road.
I love it. I love it. Reminder, we're now on the main channel. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 Eastern. And then Saturdays, we will be rocking at 9 a.m. Eastern. Make sure we get that afternoon slate covered. I will be out this Thursday, but Matty Ice will join the boys, break down all of those, the full slate for you, give you the bets, DFS plays. Anything else before we get out, boys?
No, just go ahead and check us out, runpuresports.com. Obviously, we're bringing you the free shows 3 times a week, possibly going up to 4 times a week as well with your support. Playbook is going to be live. Playbook is already live up there. My matchup sheet's already live. And then Matty Ice and myself's core plays will be up shortly. And stick around because in about 25 minutes, the NBA show is going to go live. So NBA winners coming to you. But appreciate all the following and the interaction in chat. I saw a lot of comments saying that people have been looking for NHL content, and Run Pure Sports, we're bringing it to you live here. So definitely appreciate that. And as always, drop a comment, drop a subscribe, and a like on the way out. So that's
Tanner,
all I got.
Closing remarks.
Yeah, no, just thank you everyone for the support. We finally made it to the big leagues over on the main channel here. But I finally made it, Mom. Look at me now. But my free articles come out, like you said, almost every single day. Sometimes I just don't put one out if the games are gross. I don't want to give a pick for the sake of giving picks, but that'll be out shortly. Again, that's free to anybody, subscriber or not. So just keep an eye out for that. So keep an eye on the Run Pure Sports Twitter for that one. And then thanks for the support again. Been great.
Thank you, everyone. Don't forget, straight money wins money, and Run Pure, baby.